What would happen if Earth suddenly doubled its mass, but stayed exactly the same size? At first, nothing visible would change. The continents would still sit where they are, the oceans would look familiar, and the sky would appear normal. But beneath that calm surface, the laws of physics would begin rewriting everything we know about our planet. Doubling Earth's mass would double its gravity, turning the world into a heavier, harsher version of itself. The first thing you'd feel is your own body struggling. You would weigh twice as much as you do right now. Every step would feel like walking with a full backpack strapped to your limbs. Running would be nearly impossible, jumping would feel like trying to move underwater, and even standing still for long periods would exhaust your muscles. Over time, human bones would crack more easily, joints would fail, and our entire species would need generations to adapt, if we ever could. But humans are only one part of the story. Buildings, roads, and bridges weren't designed for double gravity. Towers would start to bend under their own weight, older structures would collapse, and even underground tunnels might deform. Mountains would slowly flatten as their own mass presses them downward. Rivers would carve deeper valleys. The entire landscape would sag and reshape under the increased force pulling everything toward the center of the Earth. The atmosphere would also become denser. With stronger gravity, it would cling more tightly to the planet, trapping more gases close to the ground. Air pressure at sea level would rise so much that simply breathing would feel different. Fires would burn hotter, storms would grow stronger, and sound would travel farther. Airplanes would struggle to take off, birds would find flying nearly impossible, and weather systems would become chaotic until a new balance eventually formed. Oceans would feel the change too. Higher gravity would pull water more tightly against the planet, lowering sea levels in some areas, but increasing pressure at the bottom of the oceans. Deep-sea creatures would either adapt or vanish as the weight of the water above them doubles. Waves would behave differently, and tides would weaken because the moon's gravitational influence would feel smaller compared to Earth's new strength. Speaking of the moon, it wouldn't escape this transformation. Stronger gravity would pull the moon closer to Earth, tightening its orbit and shortening the length of a month. From our perspective, the moon would appear larger in the sky, and tidal interactions between the two bodies would grow stronger. Over millions of years, this could lead to more volcanic activity on both Earth and the moon as tidal forces twist their interiors. Even time itself would subtly change. Clocks, depending on precise physics, would tick differently because of the increased gravitational field. GPS satellites would drift out of sync. Our entire technological infrastructure, from navigation to communication, would require reconfiguring to match a world that suddenly weighs twice as much. Plants and animals would face their own existential challenges. Tall trees might collapse under their own weight, birds would stay grounded, and many animals would simply be unable to support themselves. Evolution would need to start over, favoring species that are small, compact, and built for dense, heavy worlds. Over thousands of years, Earth would become a planet of shorter mountains, stronger storms, smaller animals, and thicker air, a world familiar in shape but alien in every other way. If Earth doubled its mass, life wouldn't end instantly, but it would struggle, break, adapt, and reshape itself around a new environment. The world would endure, but it would become something entirely different, a heavier, darker, slower version of home.